Like a podcast, we gon' talk about it, yeah, we get it poppin'. Every Wednesday, PM Central, we are the only options. Who they touch with their topics, even if it is toxic. Like a podcast, you gon' be in, let's talk about it. We gon' talk about it. We gon' talk about it. Like a podcast, we gon' be here. Like a podcast, we gon' be here.
Yo, welcome back to another edition of the Life Be Life and podcast. Back up on the scene, nah, I mean. I'm your host, Tony D.
And I'm your host, D to the J, back in the building like I ain't never left. And you know, it feels so good. Yo.
Yeah, what's up, boy?
Had to get that out, man.
Get
People
that
be
on.
trying to irk behind. They be trying to
Get
irk
that on,
behind the
man. It's
scenes,
been-
man. So before we jump
tell you
into
like
some
this.
other stuff, look, listen, lifers, say like this, man. And I think we finna drop a topic on this. Extra people. We're gonna do a topic on extra people. Man, I'm so sick and tired of giving like something simple. You ask somebody something simple. Yo, can you put this there? Well, did you do this? Well, did you try that? Did you try that? Like, come on, man. Why people just can't do what's asked of them or either don't do it? Neither here nor there. Lifers.
Yeah.
It's another Wednesday. We back in the building
It
once
is,
again.
man.
Bro, talk to me, man. Tell me something good. Let the lifers know, man, what your week been like, man. What's popping? Oh, and real quick, I apologize for the little lighting, man. Look, I'm already dark-skinned, boy. I almost burnt this whole joint down trying to...
Yeah.
Hey, you hear me? These sockets was like, save them watts for LA. You ain't getting no more up in here.
Well, look here,
Man,
man.
it was so much lights, man. I know somebody probably thought the glory of God was descending. You know what I'm saying? And it shined bright like the noonday. You heard me knocking cats off their beasts and everything. What's good with you, man?
Now, look here, it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Been a trying week, man, but God is still good. So I ain't even finna sit here and fix my mouth to complain. Glad to be back up on this joint with you tonight because, hey, this topic, boy, we is finna cut up. So,
yeah,
in the event that you just tapping in, you can hit the Facebook page. Everything is scrolling across the bottom of the screen right yonder. So I advise you to take heed.
Yes,
Email,
sir.
Facebook, YouTube. Hey, to our YouTube watchers, man. Hey, what it do? We appreciate y'all week in, week out. What's going on with you, Brody?
Hey, man. I don't know what God doing, B, but God is doing something, man, and it's a good thing, and I'm happy for it. There's been so many people, I would say really in the last 3-4 days that I've came into contact with, and it was a situation where it's like, I'm focused on something. I'm trying to get something figured out, trying to come up with a game plan. I got things for non-for-profit I'm trying to do. Trying to help my son get his business popping. He's trying to be a licensed barber. He will be a licensed barber. The daughters, and we just got a lot, man. So my attention is a lot of places and meeting various people that really seem to almost be a doorway to what I need. And so I'm thankful for that. Prayers go out to all those that lost somebody over the past few days. I know people personally that are no longer on this side of life, and I'm seeing how that loss, I know how it impacts me, but I'm seeing how it's impacting others, and just being mindful of them in that situation. But like I say, in spite of all things, man, once again, God is still good, and I look forward to giving, some type of that PR, that praise report, man, just sending something back and just being like, this is what it is. So Um, it's time to drop that button. We need that disclosure because it's gonna be one.
I'm gonna say this real quick, man.
Yup.
Before we get cracking, y'all, as a community, man, and of course, community is common unity between you and I. We have to do better within ourselves before we want somebody else to do better for us.
Yeah, facts.
What do you mean, Tony? So glad that you asked. So we've all been in a situation and a point in time in life where we've hit our lowest low. We've, went without, we didn't have, we were just going through a rough patch in life
Mm-hmm.
and we were able to make it through. You know what I'm saying? We were able to beat the odds and come up out of it. A lot of the times when you are able to come out of whatever struggle, whatever situation, whatever the demise that you were going through, it was through the hands of another person, which means God's hands were working through them to pull you out. So in our daily journey, man, no matter walking, busing, biking, running, driving, I want us to be aware just of ourselves and our contributions. You may see a person that's going through a rough patch and you may have it, or, it's not all about money. It could be time, just a quick ride, words of encouragement. I'm just asking today, man, that as a community, let's start pulling together. A lot of these situations can be prevented with just a quick talk to your homeboy or your homegirl, calm them down, keeping them off the ledge. So I just really want to put that out there tonight because sometimes we get so high and mighty, we forget where we come from and we see others where we was and we turn our back on them. And I'm gonna let it be that. That's gonna be a show at some point in time.
Hello.
All right, yeah. You ready to get this joker started, man?
Kicking it off like my size 15.
The views and opinions expressed on the Life Be Life and podcast are solely those of the artists, producers, guests, and hosts of the show. Any numbers, stats, or stated resources that are given, we do ask that you verify that information for yourself.
What's up, y'all? It's Big Joe Slice from here, man. And if y'all not on Life Be Life every Wednesday, man, what is you doing? I'm going to be tapping in, so make sure y'all tap in. Let's go.
It's Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Life Be Lifing. Oh, Life Be Lifing podcast you listening to? Oh, okay, that's what's up.
Oh my God, it's 8 o'clock. The Life Be Lifing podcast is going on. And if you're not tuned in, then what are you doing?
Life Be Lifing podcast.
8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Your host, Tony to the D.
Y'all know who the host is, man. We ain't got to say it no more. If you don't know who the hosts are, look right up under our name. You'll see right there, Tony.
If you don't know, now you know.
And D to the J.
You look.
All right, Brody. Hey, kick this topic. What we on tonight?
So look, man, tonight's topic. When is just too long to be somebody's fiancé? I'm talking about fiancé. Are you still a fiancé? How long are you engaged before you just like, yo, what are we doing? So, whole lot of reasons to the whys. We want to break that thing down. Stay with us, lifers, because this is going to be good. It's going to be good. So, look.
Yo.
That right there is like, all right. So, as we kind of talked to, about this topic, man, and started the preparation, something that kind of crossed my mind. I was like, so I know what I believe to be a good time frame, not just when a man knows that he wants this woman to be his forever, but once you put that ring on shorty finger and say, will you? I have a good idea of what I know is acceptable, whether it was me proposing, the day that my daughter has somebody put a ring on her finger, and I'm like, I'm gonna have that clock's gonna start turning. But I had to ask myself, like what is everybody's perception of the average time? So the average time of engagement in the United States, bro, is between 12 and 18 months, between a year and a half. So I was just like, you know what? I was spot on, because that's really what my mindset is, 8 months to maybe that 14, 15-month mark. But per cactuscollective.com, they're saying that a healthy engagement time frame is between 1 and 2 years. So 2 years is really around the most that people are saying we should see it. So then it's like, okay, well, if this is the time frame, what are some things that's causing to really cause discrepancies within that time frame, right? So we're talking about how long is too long to be engaged. Consequences of it, bro. Would you say yes or no that there's consequences if that time frame is not correct? Like if it's too short of engagement, too long, would you say that there could be, consequences?
There's definitely consequences, man. Like, yeah, this thing can go, you know what? All right, forget it, man. Let me just fall in the pool like the diver did get in the Olympics. You hear me?
Yeah.
So check it
Would
out,
you
man.
say
Like,
yay and nay?
yeah, I say yes.
You say
Most
yeah?
definitely.
Okay. So then you're gonna be on pace with everybody else, right? So I'm gonna get your opinion on something, but I just want to throw this out there so you can form some text around it as well. Because we initially were forming this show and we thinking of all the negative reasons that would prolong, but there are some just upfront common things. So some of the things, man, that I started to jot down and take heed to. So first off, there's no right or wrong answer, lifers, to any of this. This is all based on what you and your potential spouse really have agreed and talked upon. However, like I said, that 1 to 2 year mark, 12 to 18 months, I should say, is really what's common. But some of the factors, what time of the year? Spring, summer, those are the more common. So depending on when somebody may have proposed, let's say springtime, it might be around that 14, 15 months because you're waiting for the weather of the next year. So that's some reasons. If it's a destination wedding and you have to, save up the bread for it. Some things are also delayed by the expectations of the big day, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people have their mindset on what the day is going to look like. Even a lot of young ladies, when they were girls, they're dreaming about their big wedding day, and I'm going to wear this dress and I'm going to have, so they got that. Last, some of the reasons, pressure from family and friends. 36% of those people that were surveyed through this time frame, they reported that they were impacted by their friends and family putting pressure on them. So I asked you initially, bro, what do you think that there's an impact on the age of the engagement? You said yes. Take some time and elaborate for me.
Man, where do I start with this thing? So, number one, and I try to keep some lid on some things because we got a whole 45 minutes to go, but if it comes out, it just comes out.
Yeah.
So I feel like that it's all about why you getting married. Because some people marry out of pressure, as you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Great point. Some people can marry out of necessity. Some people can marry out of getting to a different echelon. Like, your husband or your wife has a doctorate and they're working for, a big university or a big company. So now you get that notoriety. And then of course there's love. So my thing,
said that last.
yeah,
I mean, and sometimes some people get married because of love,
I mean,
Yeah.
because here's the thing, man. I've seen 20, 30, 40, $50,000 weddings.
Man.
and everything has to be perfect. The dress has to be perfect. The food has to be perfect. Like everything just has to be perfect. But the thing is that marriage is not going to be perfect. So, okay, you know what? Let's do it.
El
So
Barzo.
I've been
El
married
Barzo.
18
I like
years.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we first we was gonna do it like we used to have prayer night at our home. I just asked the pastor like, yo, can you just marry us, after prayer service? A couple of people got wind of it, so we got moved to the church. A couple more people got wind of it. All of a sudden, my wife is getting a dress. I didn't got my suit. Somebody didn't got us a hotel room. And I'm gonna be really honest, man. We didn't have all that.
Yeah.
I proposed to her New Year's Eve of 2006, and we got married March 2006. And it wasn't out of necessity. It wasn't out of, I love her. So kind of like, I understand that some people want to wait so they can go to Paris or go to Rome and things of that nature. But sometimes you got to get married within your finance bracket. You feel me? Because just because you have a small wedding, it does not negate the fact of your union.
Yeah.
And again, just because you have a huge thousands of dollars ceremony does not solidify the fact that you guys are going to be together forever.
True that.
So I mean that's my beginning take. Of course, I can go down the wormhole, man, but I don't want to give too much right now, man. But I do want to get your side of it.
Yeah, man. So I personally feel like that the time frame does make a difference for various reasons, and I don't want to dig too deep into it because some of it really is a part of some other factors that I want to go kind of cover. But ideally, what I feel is if you don't apply the correct amount of time frame of an engagement, it's the equivalent of you taking something out of the oven too soon. In the same manner, if you engage for too long, hey, Bill, if you engage too long, it's going to do the exact opposite if you leave that food in the oven past the time. So for something to be prepared just right, it takes cultivating the right ingredients, the right time, it's a lot of things involved. So learning each other is what that engagement is really for. And so some of the things we talk about on this podcast, Lifers, is really just creating that building block. We're looking for the building blocks of a relationship, right? So meaning when you first start, you meet somebody, you're courting her. She's giving certain amount of information, but maybe not all of her. You know what I mean? So you're not folding her up the first night. It's literally you're getting to know somebody. There's a friendship that's developing. There's feelings that then will come out of it. There's a pursuit. There's the boyfriend girlfriend phase, or for the lifers out there, that whatever your preference is, that there's that phase of relationship. And then you realize, you know what? I want Shorty to be my forever. So I'm going to ask her to marry me. I already knew that this is a direction that I wanted, right? This is why I reached out, started to make the financial preparation, saving for a ring, doing all the things that I'm doing, because I know that I want to make this woman my forever. So once I put that ring on it, the only thing we should really be doing at that point is coming to terms on what we want to spend. What is this day going to look like? and ideally trying to figure out some way to do all of those things, meet each other's needs, so that the wedding can be, one, practical, still be whatever, dream meter of a wedding that she was looking for, in an appropriate manner of time. So, it's one of those things, bro. I absolutely, I feel like that time is vital. The wrong amount of time, that relationship is going to be undercooked. And if you staying engaged 3, 4, 5 years, it's overcooked. I'm gonna say this real quick, bro, and then it's 8:20, and you know what we got to do. We got to get them bills paid.
Yes, sir.
You had mentioned the fact that you knew people that had spent $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on a wedding, and it made me think about a situation, bro. Like, I know somebody, man, that they spent right at like $40,000 on their wedding. 40 bandos, el bandos. And and that marriage ain't even turned 2 years before everybody was packing up.
Wow.
And the emphasis on a day as opposed to the purpose. And we're going to get into that when we come back from break. Cliffhanger. Ugh. Bro.
Let's do it.
Get us there, man.
Let's go.
Hi, guys. I like all the shows. They all tie into each other. And as crazy as y'all are together, the information that you all put out is very informative for every age level. So I just appreciate you guys with the topics. All of them my favorite to me. To y'all my favorite. So that makes me so great.
Hello, DJ. Ka volume.
Jesus Christ said that the words that I speak to you, they are spirit and they are life.
Back with the kings of the jungle, came here to rumble, young man rumble. Still dope, no dope on all the smoke, who wanna tumble? Gotta run with it out for the motherland. Apex with the clouds that cut a man. Until the Lord found me in the gutter and put me on trash, now back like a rubber band.
From never say never could never be. Running my kingdom in parody. Posing some questions to answer by means of some mental telepathy. Lord's like, sincerely, why you keep calling me king? I ring you, respond rarely. Believe him who speak into hearts, winds, waves, hail, all supreme clarity.
Almighty Yeshua is the king. All power from the throne of the king. We will only receive orders from the king. Come together, queens and warriors of the king.
Mushishini napi, bati mwine mushimu fyashi. Iba matisula bafuna kubanya munga ni chingerengere. Bati bonse ni bana bamono. Muri yesu ife sitipenda. Abengi bafayo kubumpyo bulo shiba. I'm the child of the king. Ashana bro.
Forever live the king. Almighty Yeshua is the king. All power from the throne of the king. We will only receive orders from the king. Come together, queens and warriors of the king. Out the mud, straight out the gutter. Slide through the hood real smooth like butter. Clean out the closet, clear out the clutter with a full-time queen, no part-time lover. No side beats, y'all won't get me running on enemies like a 4 on D's. I'm a son of the cross, know what that mean. I'm a ride for the cross and the kids and the queen.
Village bride, I'm a citizen. Prophet and priest is the category. Got this fire inside of my bone frame. Most what I speak is inflammatory. Truth, serum, draw, near him. Prison block, one blood dry, clear him. Only one name, elevating, dominating, proclaiming that ain't no other king.
Almighty Yeshua is the king. All power from the throne of the king. We will only receive orders from the king. Come together, queens and warriors of the king. Almighty Yeshua is the king. All power from the throne of the king. We will only receive orders from the king. Come together, queens and warriors of the king.
Nanga niliosebele saina.
And we back up in this joint. Shout out to D Petty. Y'all know we gonna keep the music real. We gonna keep it clean, inspirational when we can. So, hey, huge shout out to you, my boy.
All original, all original, all independent. We putting on.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. Before we go forward, y'all, as we are on these various platforms, because even though you see us on YouTube, StreamYard, Facebook, we're also on Spotify, Pandora, iHeart, Amazon, Google, and various other places. And unfortunately, when we play copyrighted music, that does not do well for number one, the musician. First of
Yeah.
all, let's put the artist first, and then of course the show, because then in certain parts of the show when we are playing that music, that will be muted, so it doesn't do the artist any justice. So keep in
Absolutely.
mind when we're asking you for original music, man. This is what we mean. All right,
Yeah,
man.
fact. Yeah.
Back to the okay hand.
So look, we're gonna jump back in it. So before the break, man, I was building up something. I talked about the keys or the steps to, I guess, ideally leading. You can't. So let me back up. There's nothing we can do to be absolute that a marriage will be successful. There's nothing you can do to be absolute an engagement or relationship, whatever you want to say, will be successful. But we do believe that there are some steps that it can be encouraged by. So, we talked about those steps. One of the things that I do believe is causing some issues with the engagement is cohabitation. We moving in with each other, man, way too quick. People moving in mad quick. And we can go back and forth about, what it is, what it ain't. It's okay. It's acceptable. I did it. You did it. But this is the reality. It has an impact on marriages, bro. It has such a profound impact to where, while over half of the U.S. citizens feel that it's okay to live with your partner prior to engagement, prior to marriage, there is a national survey that is new. It comes from the University of Denver, and it says that it is not a good idea for the cohabitation. Why? It decreases the odds of a successful marriage. Now, then I kind of did, okay, so what is the decrease? I seen it. 34% of marriages were failing if they had lived together prior to marriage, in comparison to only 23%. So again,
Interesting.
And so, I had to kind of step back and just say, well, and I'm sorry, and this was also a study that the timeline was significant. They did this survey over the course from 2010 through 2019. And again, this is the University of Denver that's doing this. So this is official, like a ref whistle, like this is it. But what they found in all of these people, and this is over 1,600 people that were married that unfortunately went in the failed route, but they had surveyed 1,600 people to get this statistic. 34% of them, it didn't work, in comparison to the other side of that survey, that 23. So I want your thoughts on, and I know it's going to have a personal implication because I had to put myself in that. Because we've lived with our spouses prior to them becoming our spouses. How do you feel about that? Do you think that and this is looking at the totality of our relationships. Do you think that was a great thing? Did it cause issues? What are your thoughts on living with someone early on?
I mean, my thing is, at the end of the day, this is what you're going to do anyway. So if you found out by living with your spouse before you got married, and by your statistics, it's 1 out of every 3, correct?
That what? I'm sorry. As far as failing,
yeah,
man, a little bit greater than that because it's 34. But
okay,
but yeah,
2
but
out of 5.
ideally 1 out of 3. Yeah, but we'll go with 1 out of 3.
Okay, bet. So
Yep, it's close enough.
So my thing is that what does a piece of paper change? So if you live with your spouse before you guys got married, and then the relationship ended up failing, is it a safe hypothesis to say that your marriage would have failed anyway? Because you'd have been living with them anyway. So
yes or no?
I mean, I'm kind of indifferent because without staying with this person, you may not see them with their hair all over their head. You may not see them at their lowest low, their highest high, getting up in the morning, breath funky, yawning. You may not know this. So then if you get married and then decide to move in together, whose place? His place, her place, who's going to let their place go? Number 1. And number 2, what if after you have signed on the dotted line and this is a total deal breaker for you because you had no prior knowledge of it? So it's kind of like a trial run, man. Run that 30-day free trial.
No. Bro, you are not finna Temu this relationship and throw
You
it on
have
some
to. Hey,
and
with
put it
all
on
this Temu. I mean, you have to, my boy. Like,
and I understand that, but then it also comes down if that's kind of like the ideology, then it comes down to, so we live together. I know you trying to practice whatever, and your celibacy is on the line because guess what? By them same tokens, what if you whack? You know what I'm saying? So I need to know if you can toot that thing. You know what I'm saying? I need to know. So
I'm just saying.
So that's a dangerous thing. But I'll say this in somewhat agreement because I do agree with your point. But again, for me, it's steps and it's timing. So from your point, unless y'all live together, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't see how nasty Shorty is. She can't see how nasty you are, what you like, what your dislikes. You know what I'm saying? I get that, but this is the conversation piece that we always talk about. So whose place, my place, your place, like what are we going to, these are all conversations that we're having as we're learning each other. And so going back to those steps, the steps are, look, I'm going to court her. I'm going to get to know her. You know what I'm saying? In the process of me learning Shorty, I'm telling her all the things that make me the way I am. You know, my shortcomings, my strengths, my strong suits, my opportunity. I'm telling her all these, my fears, my dreams, my goals, aspirations. And she should be doing the same. And we're talking about the house, and we're talking about some, I like dogs. I'm a cat person. We going through all that. So I feel like a lot of that living together really could be obtained by the time spent developing a friendship. Because when you live with this person, from what I would think so. I mean, what I've experienced, bro, is the relationship is going to be very successful when you take the time to develop a strong concrete based relationship. If you move too quick because I'm digging her, she, you know what I'm saying, she got more curves on her body than King's Highway potholes. You know, shorty caked up, right? So I'm digging that. So now I'm attracted to her. Now you want to learn her. Now you want to try to learn her. But it's hard to develop a friendship while you're trying to do a relationship simultaneously. One has to be more so established.
Well, I disagree.
Okay.
Because you have that courting stage. Because even while you're courting, there has to be some type of, if we're spending all this time together, whether we're watching a movie, whether we're sitting around the house playing board games, whether we decide to hop on the game or something together, spending this time together, yes, it builds the relationship, but it also builds my trust in you as, yo, you my person for the rest of my life, or supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I'm a double back really quick, because I feel like that not living together, a person is going to walk into a marriage a lot more timid. Like, I really don't know what to expect. Versus, yeah, I know his feet stink. You know what I'm saying? When he didn't work all day. Yeah, I know she put all this cream on her face, before she go to bed at night. I mean, I'm just saying, because when I used to wait tables, boy, woo-wee.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you like
again,
I ain't know
y'all,
shorty. I ain't know shorty
these
had a
are our
beard as thick as mine, and it's gonna be a problem. I feel that.
Yeah, so you got to understand that person that you're with. And again, it may not need to be a full move in, but there's got to be some spend the night bags. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to pack a spend the night bag here and there, because I can't put
Definitely
my
had
trust
that
in you. And
pink
even though
bag
I'm going to
coming to my
murder
crib
you,
regular.
yeah. So I understand that I'm still trying to get to know you, and I'm going to continue to get to know you for the rest of my life. But I gotta have a comfort level into going into this thing before we spend all this money, all this time. If you have a traditional weddings where there's wedding rehearsals and dinner rehearsals and things like that, like, yo,
That boy said, wasting
I'm not
my
even
time, wasting my
yeah, wasting my time, like, for real. And
Okay.
the crazy
So
thing is, bro,
yeah.
ladies feel the same. Ladies, look, if you're watching, if you're listening, however you're doing it, we need for you to comment on YouTube or on Facebook. Do y'all feel the same way? That y'all gotta know, like, yo, what does he snore? Because I do. My wife could have been like, yo, my boy, ain't happening.
So look, so I want to kind of crank it up a little bit. So we kind of talked about, what's the hold up, what's holding us back? Is this holding back? Maybe she gonna be more timid, he gonna be more timid if they didn't live together going into the marriage. So speaking on the aspect of being timid or not timid, so I want to know, what is the hold up, man? So is he not pressing the issue of getting married? Maybe because he's holding out hopes on his ex and hoping that, she'll see things his way and keep it on the down low? Or like
That's the wrong one. Here we go. You hit the nail on the head, my boy.
You heard me, like,
because here's here's the thing.
Yeah.
Once you decide to make that commitment, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you get to waiting, you know what I'm saying? You get to pump faking.
Yeah.
Things can happen.
Yeah.
People can double back and make you second guess the choice that you made.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying, meeting in a month, get married, but what I am saying, fellas and ladies, because fellas, if you wait too long,
she gone.
Me, the eyes are always moving.
Yeah.
She always got options.
Yeah.
She just said yes to you.
Yeah, facts. It's facts.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's,
and the same thing with women.
That's doable. That's very much agreeable. Very much agreeable. Yeah.
So, and the same thing with women. Like, you keep your man waiting, like he's like, hey, okay, you know, we've been married for 6 months. We need to start planning. And you know what I'm saying? I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, and then they get to
Yeah.
procrastinating as well. So it could be some uncertainty, man. And I really feel that when you get ready to step into marriage, all communications have to be open.
All right. So look, so check me out.
What you think about that, bro?
I 100% agree. So I want to run through some things almost like the little speed dating joints, right? So many different reasons I came up with as far as what could be the hold up. One of which you highlighted and kind of, you know what I'm saying, really drop gems on. He holding on. But another thing, I was just like, could somebody really be delaying the process because there's some underlying hurt? So either partner wants to marry the other. They've either said yes or they're the one that proposed. But in the back of their mind and tucked away in their heart was a previous relationship or their first love relationship where they thought it was the one, right? It went all the way left. And so the fear that could potentially be the case now has them on ice. You know, they skating. What you thinking? Think that could be a little something?
It could be, man, because you know, sometimes people can get married out of spite. I hate to say it, but it's like, yo, remember you broke my heart, so now I'm finna get married. I'm gonna make sure you get an invitation. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure that you get one of the little notes to let you know I'm moving on. But in reality, I'm hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm only moving on out of in this relationship because I have to. Not because I want to, because I have to at this point, and now I'm finna show you. So I really think, man, that open lines of communication, because if you've been hurt and I've been hurt, we have to learn how to. Otherwise, if we're communicating that hurt that we've been through from one another, when that first situation that comes up that can be somewhat off-putting or detrimental to your marriage, it could very well sink the boat. So I just really think communication is always going to be the key.
Yeah, so I agree with that. Another thing I considered, finances. I thought about what would be potentially holding up the marriage, the finances. How do we plan for this wedding? The realistic versus the unrealistic expectations of that day. And I took that statement in my head and I came up with this. What should a ring cost, bro? Is the value of getting a ring more on the focus than the value of the marriage itself? Is the value of this item more important than the intangible value of the marriage? We often, a lot of times, see on Facebook where somebody has, let's say, this little $59 ring, and the question is, Facebook, would you marry this person with this ring? Mixed crowd, nah, blah, blah, blah. He can do this, see that. But I think if people really understood what the purpose of the ring was, it's to signify a union. But what's the purpose of having an amazing symbol of a union when the union is tarnished? It ain't gonna last. It ain't real gold. It ain't real silver. It ain't real diamonds. You know what I'm saying? It's crushed groove zirconium.
Right.
It ain't gonna make it. So how important do you think the ring is, bro? The cost of a ring. How much value would you want somebody to place on that ring when it comes down to any of your 20 daughters?
First of all, watch your mouth. Because I got 3.
100.
First of all, right. I have more sons than I have daughters. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Anywho, right. So when it comes down to the ring, I feel like that, of course, it's easy to put a price tag on the ring. Because the thing is like you gotta know your mate. You have to know your mate. Because some women need all that jazz to be like, oh, he bought me a $50,000 ring, but we don't know where we're gonna stay at tomorrow. But we gonna be together. So it comes down to the person that you, Yahtzee. So it comes down to the person that you're
that ring
married.
gonna have to be pawned just to make a ring. Yeah, that's just crazy.
Yeah, so there's women that are heartfelt and thoughtful. Like, okay, it's cute. I like it. It symbolizes what I'm saying, what we doing together. Because my thing is this, Brody. A wedding, the reception, the ring, that's all for everybody else. And that's how I feel about it. Me living my life with you, being a man to the best of my possibilities, being a man that is stand up and is going to protect you and lead you and love you, love your faults. And I'm going to do my best not to disappoint. That's for us. So even though we get ready to do all this trash, and y'all, I'm calling it trash because sometimes that's what it is. Before we do all these theatrics, let's use that word. Before we do all these theatrics for everybody else, where are we? So me and a guy at work, we was actually talking about this Monday or Tuesday. And I was saying, spend, and if you got it, you got it. So let me say that first. But sometimes you just don't have it because what? Life be lifing.
Life be lifing, man.
So if we finna throw a couple of $1,000 wedding, and then we finna, can we go on a honeymoon? Can we afford to miss work? Can we afford to do this and afford to do that? Maybe not. So sometimes you got to do what's best for your marriage. Yo, let's shoot down to the courthouse. Let's get married. Maybe we'll have a little party at the crib or something. And yo, we gonna take that money that we spent on a wedding. Let's shoot out the country for a week or two, because it's gonna be the same equivalent. Now, again, y'all, I'm saying, if you don't have it like that, sometimes you have to, because during the marriage, trust me, some things are gonna come up, and you're gonna have to feel your way through. You may have to cut this off in order to get this done, and everybody got to be okay with it. So you got to know your partner. Women, you have to know your man. Men, you have to know your woman, because you have to understand holistically. You know what I'm saying? What is your mate into? And again, if they into for everybody else to see, that may mean that everything that you do for them is always going to be in the public. There's nothing that's going to be a secret. Y'all had an argument. Y'all had a fight. You know what I'm saying? Y'all disagree because you went out of this and out in that. If everything is on display for the public, then you can't get mad when people criticize your marriage. And now you feeling bad like, oh, my friends don't like you. My family don't like you. But they don't like you, whether you're the man or the woman, based on what you done told them when you was pissed off.
Yeah. I agree with that 100%.
Know your mate.
Yeah, you gotta know your mate. And again, it goes down to, what are y'all talking about? What stood out to me through that whole point, man, that you made was the fact that, you said you got to know your mate. She might want the flash. She might want the flash. But even vice versa, maybe she's more modest and he likes to be flashy. Whoever that person is it a point to where for us to, again, become one and tie this knot, that one of us might have to compromise? Both really. If you stupid flashy, you gotta dumb that down, man. If she's super modest, you're gonna have to freak that up. And we can meet in the middle, but it cannot be no situation where she's super, you know what I'm saying? Everything gotta be the big rings, everything is gaudy and flossy, because there's gonna come a point to where life is gonna life. We got to start preparing at some point in time for a future, retirement, kids, college, cars, businesses, you name it. You factor in the 50-50 on the relationship conversations, and here's a person that is doing all the spending.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You spending like crazy. But if it's a situation where he feeling like you're not contributing on the same level, what is that going to be? So I want everybody to understand, man, you got to know your mate, because finances is one of the main reasons for divorce. That being said, man, the motives, right? Motives. You kind of touched on this in the very beginning of this episode, man.
I swear that's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah. And because you touched on it early on, I just didn't want to crack that case open so fast. But motives. Some people are proposing out of love, like you said, even though it was the last reason why you said it. But there are people that are still getting married for love. But there's also people that are getting married out of fear of losing the other person. And what I equated it to, bro, I was just like, I know a whole lot of dudes, man, that's scared of losing their chick, right? But they put the ring on her, knowing they didn't want to marry her right away. And it's just like in the NFL, how you franchise somebody. You know what I'm saying? You put that franchise tag on shorty, and nobody else can have her, bro. She can't go nowhere. She has been franchised.
You can't get traded.
You can't play another
and
team.
you still go play. And you still go play every down.
You hear me? Every down. And so it's like, man, like I really think people are using like motives, like almost like if I say I want to get married and put a ring on shorty finger, that should give me about another year and a half, 2 months to get whatever issues out. So you touched on it a little bit earlier, the whole motive aspect of it. What's your thoughts about the motives, hers or his, locking somebody down for their money? Maybe she's locking him down because, you know what I'm saying, she wants to have shorty kids. He got green eyes and everybody in her family, you know what I'm saying, got the kitchen isn't, you know what I'm saying, they don't got the good cabinets. That's what I'm trying to say in a polite way. The kitchen doesn't have good cabinets.
Yeah,
you hear me? Homeboy, you know, come from, you know, or vice versa.
Ain't no dishwasher.
What's the motive aspect to you? How much do you feel that will drive or delay?
All right, I'm gonna give you a 2 for 1. As you know, saying time is a time, so I'm gonna give you my take and soapbox and slide up off this joint.
Yep.
So I believe motives are very important, man, because if you marry somebody for a motive and the situation changes, whether it's financially, whether it's a job, whether it's time, all of a sudden now you have kids, changes, meaning that maybe you don't feel the same way about that person that you used to. Maybe you don't do the same things for this person that you used to do. Maybe you may feel like I don't look as good as this person as I used to. So when those types of situations, when things change, when conditions, that's the word I want to say, when conditions of the marriage change, and I'm not necessarily saying nothing wild, but if your comfort level changes in the marriage because you married for a specific reason, whether it's security, financially stable, then your motive
married
starts
homie
to change.
you married him because he's stupid
I feel
tall,
like this,
but
y'all, and I'm
he got in
sliding
an
to my
accident and lose
soapbox.
his legs. Go ahead.
Yeah,
though.
you know what I'm saying? So now he you know
3 feet.
what I'm saying, 211. Or you know what I'm saying, 415. But here's the thing, important. There are a lot of waters to navigate in America, and sometimes I'm trying to push through this thing, man. Pick your head up. So we not finna take these people over tonight, man. We finna knock this out. So in marriage, man, comes troubling waters, and we gotta understand that when you marry for the right reason, in moments of adversity, it's actually going to bring you guys closer together. Again, when my wife took my hand in marriage, man, I was still waiting tables. We was living like really crazy. And now I can look back 18 years later and understand and see that everything that we have at this moment, we have built together. It hasn't been no all me. It has not been no all her. We have been able to navigate these waters together and come out the other side and just be like, yo, we did this together. So, see this dude, man. So
You know what?
we gotta be in a place of maturity about certain things, man, because everything is not going to go your way in a marriage. We have to understand that there's always going to be give and take. And I'm gonna switch it back to the motives, because if your motives are not pure, your heart is not in the right place, you married for a condition and not your heart, then that may leave you in a bad place. And I'm sliding up off this box, man. Get your camera back on and let's get it on, my boy.
So, thank you, God.
Come on, man. We're not gonna hold these people up all night because you being crazy.
Be mentally ready. Be mentally prepared for the stages of your life. Bro, I can't, man. I can't. I'm good. Woo. I'm your host, D to the T, and I can't even be in this building.
Yo, hey, we about to get about y'all here for real, man. The show next week, I believe, is what? How to Stay Married. This dude. Anyway, you'll find it on our Facebook page, man. Because I'm not gonna deal with this dude. It's what's the show next week?
Next week's topic, we really gonna dig in, man, and kind of take this to that next level, just as far as staying married. And again, we understand that you can't have a foolproof system, but we're gonna share some of our personal experiences, some statistical experiences and information, and just some things that we've learned along the way. And man, we're gonna try to bring this thing home, man. Glory. I'm your host, D to the J, man. Peace and blessings. Still in this thing like I ain't never left. You heard.
Hey, y'all know how it's go down, because life gonna keep on life, and we're gonna be here to talk about it. And I'm your host, Tony D. You hear me?
Life be life in podcast, we gon' be here to talk about it. Yeah. With your host, Tony D and D to the J. with your host Tony D and D to the J.